In goal today, number 48, Travis Wara. Defender number 2, the captain, William Yambi. Forward number 9, Oliver. Forward number 10, Sonny Johnny. Midfielder number 14, Udai Emura. Defender number 15, Milan Roberts. Midfielder number 17, Oscar Umar. Defender number 18, Alex Lee. Midfielder number 27, Raul Gonzalez. Midfielder number 32, Matt Bulldog. And forward number 71, Luis Fernando. And our kicker for the day, Liam Brotherton. The head coach for your kickers is Lee Calishaw. His assistants are Mike Callahan, Adrian Pulo, and Sasha Guerres. Fans, pick up your Frisbee on the main concourse for the Carytown Frisbee Toss contest coming up at halftime. Chance to win some great Carytown prizes. Rent your Carytown Frisbee on the main concourse for just $1. Fans, tonight we're doing a jersey auction. You can bid on the game-worn white jersey of your favorite Kickers player. It's a silent auction on the main concourse. Bidding will end after halftime. So don't wait. Own a piece of Kickers history and bid on the game-worn white jersey of your favorite Kickers player tonight.
Hello there and welcome to City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia for the Richmond Kickers versus Orlando City B. My name is Daryl Grove. I'm going to be your play-by-play guy. Standing next to me is Taylor Rockwell. He's going to be your colour commentary guy. Hello.
Hey buddy, how you doing?
I am pretty good. We are here for the Richmond Kickers' final home game of the season.
That we are.
Fair to say playoffs are out of reach for the Richmond Kickers. For Orlando City B, it's just within touching distance. They are 1 point behind that dotted line.
They are and very much need that result this evening. Kickers obviously playing for pride. I think 11 points out of the playoffs with 3 games remaining. Going to make that one difficult. But for Orlando, a win tonight keeps them on track, keeps them in sight of the playoffs.
Yeah, so for the Kickers, we've sort of seen them turn the season around a little bit as we're coming towards the end. Your players to watch today are going to be, for Orlando City B, Haji Barry, the centre forward. He's going to be wearing number 13. He's the top scorer for Orlando City B. He is the guy the Kickers need to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. We think he's going to be starting up top alongside Danny Deacon. He and Pierre Da Silva have obviously combined very well at times this season, but Haji Barry with those 8 goals, going to be the one that the Kickers are going to have to deal with this evening.
And one of the men marking him will be Richmond Kickers captain William Yombi, wearing number 2, the ever-reliable centre-back. I would say the Kickers' turnaround in form somewhat coincided with Yombi coming back into the team after that knee injury.
I would say directly coincided. And I would say, yes, reliable is the word there. You can count on him in the air. You can count on him to play the ball calmly out of pressure with his feet. He's always going to be in there organizing as well and is going to be key in shutting down that Orlando City attack.
Okay, let's get to the starting lineups, Taylor. For Orlando City B, who do we have?
We think maybe it's going to be sort of an empty bucket 4-4-2. Jake Fenlison in goal, Kevin Alston, Connor Donovan, Zach Carroll, and Austin Martz are your back 4. Tony Rocha, Lewis Neal, Jordan Schweitzer, and Pierre Da Silva as your 4 midfielders, with Haji Barry and Danny Deacon ahead of them.
Yeah, keep an eye on number 98, Pierre Da Silva. For the Richmond Kickers, it's the classic 4-2-3-1. In goal, Travis Warrer, who's been in great form. The back 4, there's a centre-back pairing of Malin Roberts and William Yombi. Your right back is Alex Lee. Your left back, somewhat surprisingly, is Raul Gonzalez, something to keep an eye on there. Central midfielders, Uday Imora will be next to Oscar Umar. To the right, Matthew Baldock. To the left, Luis Fernando. Number 10, Sonny Janet.
As your number 10.
As your number 10, playmaker. And number 9 is Oliver.
As your number 9.
Minatel, wearing number 9. Those are your Richmond Kickers for the day. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, get ready for kickoff.
Elephant Auto Insurance presents Richmond Landmarks with Gene Cox. Built in 1901, Main Street Station has defined Richmond's skyline for over 100 years. One of the oldest train stations in the country, and it still keeps folks on the move. With its national headquarters right here in Richmond, Elephant keeps people on the move without breaking the bank. So log on to elephant.com for a free quote today. It's the most Richmond thing you can do.
How can an elephant go undercover to ensure great customer service? Well, it goes a little something like this. I carefully prepare my disguise.
Yes, ma'am. We've got a tow truck on the way to you right now.
I approach with the utmost subtlety.
Absolutely.
I observe undetected.
Those repairs include a lifetime guarantee.
And slip away without a trace.
What?
When my customers are happy, I'm happy. And when I'm happy...
More care, less cost. Discover the elephant difference at elephant.com. At CBS 6 News, we aren't confined by 4 walls. Our office is out here in our community. CBS 6 News at 11.
Welcome back to City Stadium. We are getting ready for kickoff. We have Oliver Minatel standing over the ball. We are underway. Here we go. Ball immediately out right is cut out and cleared by Kevin Alston. It's Alex Lee playing left back. Raul Gonzalez playing right back. Here's Alex Lee on the ball now. Oscar Umar gets Alex Lee out of trouble, putting him away down the left. Lee dribbling in field, still has the ball, goes wide to Luis Fernando. Up against Austin Martz. Fernando crosses to the far post. It's a little long. It bounces over. It's going to disappear into the red smoke.
Richmond Kickers looking pretty direct so far, straight from kickoff, and then obviously looking for those long balls through. I think that Alex Lee, Raul Gonzalez switch makes a lot of sense since Raul Gonzalez is not your usual outside fullback. Makes more sense to put him at least on his favorite side. Alex Lee can probably hang on the left.
Kickers continuing the tradition of right-footed left backs.
It's one of their proudest.
Yeah. It's going to be Jake Fenlerson to take this goal kick. He kicks to the left. It's one in the air by Oscar Umar. Yudai Imura places Luis Fernando, who spins and wins the free kick. Looks like Jordan Schweitzer caught him on the turn there. Good atmosphere at City Stadium so far, Taylor.
Absolutely. As you can see, the red smoke slowly drifting across the stands, or at least we can. Maybe the folks at home cannot.
Yudai Imura standing over this free kick. Based on the bodies in the box, I predict he's going to serve this in. There we go. The ball is lifted in directly. It's flicked on by an Orlando player, and it goes out for a corner kick. Bit of confusion and the OCB back line there.
I think part of the confusion was the short delivery from Yudai Imura. We expected that one maybe to drop around the penalty area, between the penalty area and the 6-yard box. Instead, just outside the 18, as we get a replay of that free kick here.
You see it just drop out for a corner kick there. I believe it's Sonny Janet to take the corner kick. He serves it low to the near post. Cleared by Orlando. Raul Gonzalez is going to keep this play alive. He underhit that pass. It's out of bounds. It's going to be Orlando City B throw-in. Kicker's throw. Raul Gonzalez throws long. Ball bounces through to Zach Carroll. Zach Carroll puts his foot through it. Raul Gonzalez meets it. Flicks it out wide, but there's no one there. That's the second pass out of bounds from Raul Gonzalez so far today.
A little bit sloppy, maybe just trying to get a little bit adjusted to having that pressure on him immediately. He doesn't have the defensive safety net behind this game.
I still maintain my favourite crosser of a ball on the Richmond Kickers. So if he can get forward and swing some crosses in, I'll be a happy commentator.
I'm going to assume that is part of the game plan, that you want to get him forward as much as you can to get him involved in the attack and assist in the assisting.
Travis Ward with a nice ball out left there to Alex Lee. He might have the best left foot on the team, the Richmond Kickers goalkeeper.
At this point, I'd certainly say so.
Lee throws short to Oscar Umar. Umar accelerates. Chips the ball down the line for Luis Fernando to chase. Fernando up against Austin Martz in the corner. Oh, the flag is up. Luis Fernando was offside.
So we thought maybe Orlando City were going to come out in more of a 4-4-2. It does look like they've kind of come out in the expected 4-2-3-1 with Rocha and Schweitzer as your holding midfielders, Luis Neal ahead of them, De Silva and Deacon as your wide attackers, and then Haji Berry up top by himself.
So they tricked us with the team sheet.
They did. They're deceptive, those Orlando City B players and coaches and front office staff responsible for submitting the roster.
Fenlerson kicks long and down the middle. One in the air. Rocha tried to get around Sonny Janet. Janet has it. Janet plays it into the path of the overlapping Raul Gonzalez, or the advancing Raul Gonzalez.
Orlando City tried to clear. Yudai Imura intercepts. Meanwhile, Luis Fernando down behind the play, back on his feet, but jogging with some difficulty. We'll see if he's able to continue or if he's
I see him limping
treatment.
ever so slightly. He's doing that hop of someone who doesn't quite trust their body to take the weight on one side.
But he is still back on his feet and not calling for any treatment as we have a stoppage in play here for a free kick. So I'm assuming he'll be able to continue. Maybe just a quick knock.
Or maybe he just doesn't want to risk being subbed out in the first 5 minutes. Final home game of the season.
And potato.
Fernando? All right, free kick is going to be served into the box once again.
As always, if you're just joining us here for our commentary, I apologize.
Good ball into the box. Yombi got his head to it. I think he shouldn't have flicked that to the far post.
At least that's probably what he'll claim. No Kickers players at the back post there, but Kickers again showing early signs of intent, trying to get forward, trying to be aggressive in their approach, a bit more aggressive than we've seen them be in weeks past.
Fenlerson once again with the goal kick. Looks like he's looking for Barry. Gonzalez gets there. Ball played through for Deakin to chase. Deakin is forced wide by Milan Roberts. He flicks it in. Yambi gets his head to it. Roberts misses the second one. Raul Gonzalez makes sure.
Some worrying signs there for the Kickers. You can see the pace of Deakin. He was very much level, if not a few yards, maybe a good foot and a half onside. Kickers unable to keep with that pressure right away. We'll see how they handle the pace as things progress.
Was it Yambi he was in the foot race with?
Indeed.
I believe it's Kevin Alston with the throw. I remember those long throws. A Poulis family tradition. Zach Carroll goes out left. Down the line, I see the flag up on the far side. Referee's seen it.
Offside.
It's going to be a Richmond Kickers free kick. Taken quickly to Travis Warrer, who's immediately under pressure from Haji Barry. Has to kick with his right foot. And cleared by Yambi. Alston under some pressure. Donovan clears. Haji Barry is in behind. Flag is down. Barry is one-on-one. Huge slide tackle from William Yambi.
And that's the type of play we've come to expect from him. That's why he was our spotlight player heading into this game. Really good positioning, beat for pace there. Able to make up that ground, put that slide tackle in. I think Haji Barry will be pretty frustrated. We'll want that one back, but good play from William Yambi, the captain of the Richmond Kickers.
I just saw Barry give Yambi sort of a low five as well, sort of like a, hey, good tackle, man.
But that's the second time now we've seen Orlando City be able to bypass that Richmond Kickers high line. We'll see if the Kickers are able to deal with that, able to make some adjustments.
De Silva crosses it in. It was flicked on. Collected by Rocha. Rocha gets the extra point. They have removed the old football goalpost from City Stadium.
They have, although it did end up landing on the advertising hoarding featuring William Yambi. So I feel like even then he intercepts the shot.
To get head to it.
Yeah, more I think a lower abdomen to it, but still.
Travis Warrer goes long and left. Luis Fernando's going to challenge for it. Martz steps and wins it out of bounds. Alex Lee was looking for a quick throw. Throws down the line, headed out by Martz. Gets it back. Into Jean, a good first touch under pressure, and goes down, he wins the free kick. Udaimura in a rush to take it, but Donovan's smart, he's seen this before, right?
I think 3 different Orlando City B players put a foot to that ball just to slow it down in a helpful way. That's what you have to do. You have to make it seem like you're trying to help, and you just can't quite get the ball back in time. That's how you avoid the yellow card.
Lee with space on the left, right foot cross comes in, headed out. Lee wins it back. Now Haji Barry picks it up. Barry out left to Pierre da Silva. The very talented Pierre da Silva. He's put Barry away down the left. Raul Gonzalez is struggling to catch up. Gonzalez goes to ground, wins the ball. It's going to be a throw for OCB.
I can't decide if it's a worrying sign for the Richmond Kickers because while they are pretty, the slide tackles, then they are coming off. A slide tackle tends to be the last-ditch defensive effort.
It's last resort, right? It's the nuclear option. I guess the nuclear option would be a foul, right?
Yeah.
Alston with another big throw. Warrer comes off his line, grabs it, down he goes. Ball is safe. Travis Warrer is waving everybody forward.
Fans, stay up to date on all the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XMFC Channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XMFC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
This is going to be an OCB throw-in. Udaimura couldn't quite control it. Roberts got a leg around Barry there. Here's Deacon. Donovan out left to Alston. Alston looks down the line for Pierre da Silva. Raul Gonzalez with a lot of ground to catch up. Da Silva, we know he's got the foot skills. Maybe Raul Gonzalez knew as well, because he takes him down in the corner.
Physical play there again from the Richmond Kickers makeshift right back, results in that free kick.
Not a great foul though, I don't think.
No.
Because he was going away from goal, there was no immediate danger.
Yeah, had turned him around, so basically once you've got him facing away from goal, that's the time you just want to put that light pressure on, let him know you're there, but not obviously concede the free kick. So Raul Gonzalez did half of that right.
Pierre da Silva stands over it.
The Chick-fil-A seat upgrade winner, fan of the match is Ginger.
If you're a US men's national team fan, Pierre da Silva has been through a lot of the US youth teams. He's really a name to watch for the future.
Is he the number 1 on the USL, like 20 under 20?
Oh, I can't remember. I know you put me on the spot, but he was definitely up there. Left-footed ball comes in, headed out by Yambi. Luis Fernando to chase. Heavy first touch, and that is dealt with by Tony Rocha. It's a good confident ball back to his keeper. Fenlison's ball's out though. Wara to Alex Lee. So far so good for Alex Lee at left back.
Yeah, hasn't had too much to do with it. Does seem like maybe Orlando City we are focusing on coming down either through the middle, using that pace, or coming down that left-hand side, their left-hand side, the Richmond Kickers right.
Using their Pierre da Silva. Wara goes long. One in the air by Carroll. Alston gets ahead to it. A Yambi to Umar. Umar, did you see what happened there? I'm not sure why he went
Looks like
down.
after the ball was played by Umar, ball was cut out, but it seems like maybe a little bit of contact, maybe on the trailing leg, got clipped, goes down, free kick to the Kickers, taken short.
Umar switches the field. Alex Lee takes on the chest, keeps it in. Looking for help from Luis Fernando. Fernando intercepts that, then is held off by Schweitzer. It's going to be a Richmond Kickers free kick.
I think Schweitzer arguing that basically there's nothing he could do about that. Luis Fernando happy
Free kick taken too quickly. Referee was talking to Schweitzer.
Good attempt by the Richmond Kickers there. I don't think the referee had indicated that they needed to wait, but obviously if he's having a word, then play isn't going to be set to resume. Replay there as Udai Omura gets set to take this free kick. Plenty of the big bodies in the box. Only Raul Gonzalez, it looks like, hanging back for the Kickers.
Ball to the back post. It's loose. It's cleared. Cleared high. Let's see how good his first touch is. Very good from Raul Gonzalez. Udai Omura cuts inside, crosses. That ball to the back post. Fenelson was off his line. Oliver with his arms in the air saying that's more than 6 seconds. Referee not enforcing it. All has different concepts of time.
Worth noting here, if you can't tell from your camera lenses, sun very much right behind that Orlando City goal. So Richmond Kickers is going to have some difficulty adjusting to it with their crossing. We'll have to figure out exactly how hard to hit that ball because they're not going to be able to trust their vision too much.
It's an odd lighting situation, right? The sun is hanging right over us, but also the floodlights are on because we know the sun's going down fairly soon.
It's well lit, is I guess what we're getting at here.
Another big Alston throw. Yambi and Roberts between them clear it. Schweitzer wins in midfield. Here goes Martz. Martz tries to slip one down the outside. Lee's got it covered. Under pressure from Deacon. Uses his shoulder to shepherd that ball over the line.
It looked like he was going to try to maybe drop that one back to Travis Wara or do the step over turn and take it down the line. I think Deacon wasn't going to let that one happen, so instead Lee does well to get that one out of bounds without like slipping, losing his footing, and letting Deacon basically just be in on goal.
I thought he got himself in trouble. I thought maybe the ball wasn't going to roll for him, and he'd maybe end up giving away a free kick.
I think he was right on. I think if it had been about one more yard, that might have been a free kick instead of a goal kick.
A gust of wind in the wrong direction. Oliver almost controls that ball, but he's pulled up, holding his hamstring, arm in the air. Oliver Minatel is down. I think we're going to see him sub out of this game. Richmond Kickers options, Taylor, if Oliver Minatel comes out.
I mean, the obvious one would be Mikey Minatillo. We've
Goal
seen
scorer
him
last week.
And the week before, so he is kind of the super sub. We even contemplated featuring him as the spotlight player for the Richmond Kickers. Weren't sure if we'd see him. Instead, I think we're seeing him much sooner than we would have expected. Oliver definitely not going to be able to continue on, still down getting treatment. No Kickers players up warming up as yet, but you have to believe that it will be a proven attacker coming on, and I think that is Mikey Minatillo.
I think everybody's going to take the option of getting a quick hydration break while they can.
And while we can, I'll say the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars.
Like Peter Silva.
There you go. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting www.uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter @USL.
So, I'm not a doctor, but this does not look good for Oliver Minatel.
It does not, and it does look like Mikey Minatillo is getting his final instructions from Richmond Kickers head coach Lee Calishaw, getting a little bit of a briefing. Seems like also important and worth noting, Oscar Umar also getting a briefing from Lee Calishaw, maybe just trying to like seal things up through the middle, make sure that Orlando City B don't have quite so much time on the ball to find those passing options.
So assuming it is Minatillo, it definitely is. I can see him getting instructions now. They are very different players. Mikey Minatillo is a much more physical, imposing, I want to say bruising, centre forward. Oliver Minatel more of a sort of silky touch type player.
And if you need further evidence of what Daryl Grove was talking about, look back to Mikey Minatillo's last goal, which was assisted by Travis Wara.
Yes.
So you look at that, kind of gives you an indicator of Travis Wara's ability to boot that ball along with that left foot, but Mikey Minatillo's ability to kind of get through the defense, hold off defenders, and put that ball in the back of the net.
He really did hold them off for like 3 bounces of the ball before just smashing it.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, he side-footed it, but it was a strong finish. As the Kickers beat Rochester last week.
Oliver still getting off the field there, just gingerly stepping off. Definitely looks like a pulled hamstring. Maybe not quite as bad, but definitely won't be able to continue. And I'm guessing we probably won't see him for the remainder of the season either.
I'll say this as well. So I don't know the situation, but for someone like Mikey Minatillo, right, he was picked up mid-season. I imagine it wasn't a long-term contract.
No.
If he needs sort of if he wants a contract for next year, this is a good opportunity for him to finish the season strong.
Absolutely. As we see Mikey Minatillo come onto the field, this substitution presented by Elephant Auto Insurance.
So what was the game situation? Looks like it might be a drop ball here.
I think so. I think it would have been a ball through that Oliver was kind of just trying to pursue a little bit. Didn't seem like he was really going from 0 to 100 in terms of acceleration, which is when you sometimes see that hamstring go. So maybe it had just been a little bit of a worry that finally went.
Yeah. All right, it's going to be Fenlison. Who, by the way, can hold the ball one-handed. That's impressive. Scramble over the far side. Oscar Umar gets his leg in the air and clears it. Kickers can break. Good first-time pass from Yudo Imura. Jane running at the Orlando defence. Tries to slip it into Mikey Minatillo. It's cleared. Luis Neal now plays it out wide. Pierre da Silva, first-time pass down the line, cut out by Raul Gonzalez. Now Milan Roberts. The pace of this game has picked up. I like it. Roberts out left to Alex Lee. Lee goes into midfield for Yudo Imura. Immediately under pressure from Schweitzer. Umar with a little more time. Low driven ball to Gonzalez. Gonzalez, early cross. Mart's got, I think, not as much of a head as he intended to that.
I didn't even know if he did get ahead, but it does look like just a graze there as the Richmond Kickers take the throw in quickly.
Lee to Imura. Back to Roberts. This is good, crisp passing from the Richmond Kickers. Perfect for a fall day. Big diagonal from William Yumby. Oscar Umar demanding the ball in central midfield. There's Gonzalez with a chance to cross. He cuts back. Left-footed, lifts it to the far post. Headed out by Martz again.
I like that in the past 3 days it dropped below 80 degrees here once, and that's enough for you to try to justify it being fall.
I mean, technically it is fall, right? Just because I'm wearing shorts doesn't mean it's not 4. Here's Connor.
The leaves are still green, is all I'm saying.
Some of them are on the floor. You know how they got there?
Descending.
Ball is with Carroll in the back. Carroll goes long and low. Malan Roberts meets it. Yuda Imura didn't get a full touch on that. Orlando City, nice passing triangle, really quick. Lewis Nil into the feet of De Silva. His touch let him down on the turn. I think he was trying to think 2 steps ahead and didn't think 1 step ahead.
I think he was trying to anticipate that pressure from Raul Gonzalez, and I think in so doing, maybe just overcomplicated it a little bit.
Wara goes long. Minatillo loses out in the air. And Schweitzer's won it back. Tries the through ball. Yambi reads it. Gives it to Lee. Lee immediately under pressure from Deakin. Goes into midfield. Oscar Umar almost with a good first-time ball. I could see the idea, right?
Ever the optimist.
Tony Rocha, Mikey Minatillo applying some light pressure. Rest of the Richmond Kickers are sitting back, covering the passing lanes. Deakin to Rocha. Kickers win it back. Janet on the break. Janet has Minatillo to his right. He gives it to him. Mikey Minatillo, 1 touch, tackle, puts it wide. Looks like there was a deflection though. It's going to be a corner kick.
Really good defensive work there from Orlando City B. Coughing the ball up at midfield, never something you want to do, but do really well to get back to cover those options. You also had Matthew Bolduc streaking through as well. Could have been big problems for Orlando City B. I think in the end they'll take the corner over the other options that were on hand.
Was it Connor Donovan? Yeah, that's a good slide tackle from Connor Donovan.
He did well to hold it up enough that Sonny Jane was forced into that pass and then was able to break at the exact right moment.
Second best slide tackle of the game. I'm going Yombi 1, him 2, and Gonzalez 3.
Oh yeah, I think that's absolutely correct.
That ball bounced right through. I see the referee pointing to the corner flag though. Must have taken an OCB deflection on the way through.
So it's Bolduc and Sonny Jane just switching sides as we get a replay of that corner.
Ball goes long, headed back in. Alston, Barry gets a foot to it. It's a bit of a scramble. Yuda Imura, really smooth pass. Lee squares it to Gonzalez.
Good work there from Yuda Imura, but also from Alex Lee, who was trying to drift wide to be the support option, and then was able to come back inside to receive that ball, otherwise could have been problems.
Low ball in, couldn't find Bolduc or Minatillo.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com.
I was thinking it's tough for guys like Minatillo who have to come into the game without much prep. You can't get your full warm-up in.
Yeah, because you get the kind of like half warm-up, but you don't get that full first team, like the 5v5 or whatever you want to go with. And then on top of that, you then have like 10 minutes to kind of cool off, sit on the bench, you relax a little bit. Suddenly you're kind of thrust into it. Sometimes that can be bad. Other times it can be good because you don't have that time to really focus on, oh, I need to make this work, I need to make this change. You're just kind of in it, you got to play. In the meantime, it looks like we've had our first booking of the game for Sonny Jane. Can't tell if that was dissent or delay of game. Either way, yellow card for Sonny Jane, the Richmond Kickers, number 10. Fans at City Stadium letting the referee know just what they think about that decision.
Strange, I didn't see too much there.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm not sure if it was the initial contact or if it was maybe a word he might have had after the fact, or maybe just like poking the ball away, not letting them take the ball as quickly as they would have liked.
Martz goes long, Alex Lee gets ahead to it. Yuda Imura back to Malan Roberts. Kickers playing their way out of pressure. Good stuff in the end. Moore goes long, looking for that run of Luis Fernando. Carroll cut it out. Martz under pressure from Minatillo. Minatillo had the chance to cut that out. I think he technically ended up getting nutmegged.
Some risky play there from Fenlison, who then put the hand up in acknowledgement that maybe that wasn't the best choice. I think he might have heard from the sideline on that one.
He goes Alston, plays it ahead of Pierre Silva. Gonzalez goes down, wins the free kick. Richmond Kickers free kick.
Nice bit of battling there between De Silva and Raul Gonzalez. Gonzalez eventually earns that free kick by getting that body across and just absorbing that contact. He's looking, I'd say, more solid than I would have expected for a right back, is Raul Gonzalez.
Yeah. Yeah, he's played up and down that right side, though. He knows what he's doing. A reminder of the stakes today. Orlando City B, 1 point below the dotted line. They do need a win if they want to make the USL Eastern Conference playoffs.
And for the Richmond Kickers, as we said last week, I think this is the 3rd time in franchise history they won't be involved in the postseason. So I think for them, a win is important just to kind of keep the fans ending on an optimistic note. A lot of fans in attendance this evening hoping to break the attendance record are the Richmond Kickers, the season-long attendance record, that is. Nice
touch from Luis Fernando. Alex Lee is away. Cuts back onto his right. Alex Lee crosses to the far post. It's met by Alston. Ball is out of bounds. Going to be a corner kick. You know, it's just looking extra red at City Stadium tonight.
I do. I believe there's a reason for that. I believe it's a fairly logical and intelligent reason. This evening was wear red, get a free beer night at City Stadium. It's like several thousand people have decided to take the Kickers up on that offer.
Yes, we don't know the attendance number, but it looks good here at City Stadium. It looks nice and full. Jeannet takes, it goes low. It's cleared out by Alston. Now OCB can break, but Kickers have 3 back. Rocha turns, plays it ahead. Alex Lee is there. Gives the fans the ball.
Good covering work from Alex Lee. Shifts across, makes sure that ball gets out of play, but also hits it with enough authority to give everyone else to get time to get back and get into the right position. Maybe the ball boys on that sideline just getting a little instruction to slow down. Maybe just take your time getting that ball back to the thrower.
The thrower again is Kevin Alston, who has that big throw, so Kickers better be ready to defend this. He goes low into Pierre De Silva. De Silva trying to shake off Raul Gonzalez. He goes back to Rocha. Rocha to Carroll. Martz has pulled wide. He receives the ball. Back to Carroll. Connor Donovan. OCB slowing this down.
Kickers have had a lot of the ball. Orlando City B have been pressed into some of their passes. I think maybe they're just happy to establish possession, keep the ball, not give it away too cheaply.
Lee cuts off that pass to Martz. He's going to see this over the line again. That's the 2nd time in a row that Alex Lee has pulled that off.
Lots of battling from Alex Lee there in the left back spot. Fans, stay up to date on all the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XMFC. That's channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XMFC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
You can see Wara there waving everybody forward.
He wants another assist.
Up. He really does have a big kick on him. It's one in the air by OCB. Played long by Yumby. Headed back to his keeper by Connor Donovan.
Calmly dealt with there. Like, that's the sign of a good center back, able to backpedal, see his distance to the goal, absorb that pressure, and then just have that casual little flick right into the hands of the goalkeeper. Nicely done from the Orlando City B center back.
Looked like a bit of a miscommunication there as Malin Roberts put it out of bounds.
I'm going to say effectively done by Malin Roberts to put that one out of bounds, make sure Orlando City don't get anything building.
Martz throws quickly into Barry, who I think has come deep just to get a touch. He hasn't seen the ball for a little while. Good pass into Deacon. Deacon turns to Martz. Back to Deacon. Deacon trying to get away. It's going to go back to Rocha. Now Donovan. Down the left to Alston. Alston deflected cross. Out for a corner kick. Orlando City B corner kick. I see Pierre De Silva going across to take it.
This has been the problem at times for the Kickers this season. Looking dangerous, starting to put some attacks together, but then one opportunity for the opponent can lead to problems, can lead to a first half deficit. So we'll see how they weather the storm here, and particularly this corner kick.
De Silva crosses, left-footed. Oscar Umar heads it out. Jane fighting for it with Alston. Wins it. Gives it to Yudai Mora. He looks up. Sees the run of Luis Fernando. I think he was trying to split it, like put it around Tony Rocha for Fernando to run onto.
Lost his footing as he hit the ball, though, so probably doesn't get the force behind it he would have liked.
I've seen the Kickers try that ball a few times tonight, though, and it hasn't gone through.
It's just always tempting when you've got the big body of Mikey Minatello combined with the pace and technical ability of Sonny Jane and Luis Fernando, just to keep trying that ball just in case it gets through.
Yeah.
But eventually it can become almost repetitive, and Orlando City B can adapt to it, and then it becomes basically giving the ball away.
Yeah, it's hard to know when you hit the tipping point.
Yep. Which is why we're up here and not sat on the bench.
Carroll to Donovan. Good work from Rocha. Keep that ball alive. And to switch the play to Martz. Neil did well. He fell over but kept it going.
A little bit of improv there.
Yeah, he still has the ball. He's an experienced player, Lewis Neil. There's De Silva being forced backwards. Has to go back to Connor Donovan. Long spell of possession for Orlando City B here. Looking for Haji Barry. Milan Roberts gets there. Yudai Moore with a slightly risky pass puts Alex Lee under pressure. Martz to Schweitzer. To Carroll. Square to Donovan. Donovan pointing left. Lewis Neal comes deep to collect. Ball is all the way through to Travis Warrer. I think although Orlando City B had the ball for a long time, is it fair to say the Kickers kind of held it tight there?
Yeah, I think the Kickers, like we talked about, maybe with that substitution when Oliver went off, clogging up the middle just a bit more than they were in those opening 10 to 15 minutes. So Orlando City B not able to find those passing options through, working it wide a lot and keeping possession, but not really able to do much with that possession, eventually having to resort to the long ball over the top.
And there you go. Alston goes long. Through to Travis Warrer.
And while he possesses soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com.
Warrer goes long again. Looking for Bolduc, who I think is going to get the foul called against him for being a bit grabby.
A little bit. I think it's always difficult in those moments because you don't quite realize how obvious you're being because you're just trying to battle for the ball to get into the right position. And then from afar, like up close, it seems like, oh no, I'm just kind of battling back and forth, a little bit of jockeying from afar. It's like, nope, you just pulled him back completely.
Bolduc, I believe, is another kicker that joined mid-season, but he's become a sort of regular starter the last, I want to say 7 to 8 games.
Yeah. And has looked good. Obviously, provides a lot of pace, just kind of like resiliency down the flank. And obviously, can serve it a ball in as well.
Alex Lee throws for Mikey Minatello. Holds off Zach Carroll. Keeps on battling through. Donovan steps across, gives it to Martz. Here's Deacon. Good defensive work from Luis Fernando. Fast throw from OCB, looking for Haji Barry. Here's Martz again. Tony Rocha. Neal into De Silva. De Silva with a bit of space, shoots. Warrer parries. Roberts heads it up in the air. Deacon, nice juggling and plays it out wide to Martz. Deacon goes back to the middle. Here's Rocha. Seems OCB can't quite find the perfect crossing angle.
Well, you look at the big bodies in the box for the Richmond Kickers. Orlando City be able to match up with them man-to-man, but outside of that, they don't have much height, so they're forced to try to wait for that perfect pass, and that tends to lead to giveaways and fouls.
Yeah, they really only have the two centre-backs as the big guys.
I mean, Haji Berry isn't particularly small, but I think when you've got him,
5'11",
when you've got him going up against the two big men in Yambi and Milan Roberts, you're never really going to favor those odds.
And it has been a lot of Yambi and Roberts winning those headers. Here is William Yambi, Kickers captain. Goes direct for Fernando to chase. Martz gets ahead to it once again. Deakin infield to Schweitzer. Schweitzer banks it off Minatillo to Rocha. Here goes De Silva with space at the top. Shoots, deflected. Wara saves it.
It's the second time in the past few minutes I think Travis Wara has been very appreciative that that ball ended up coming more or less right to him. I think that shot from Lewis Neal earlier really could have been problematic if it hadn't been more or less right at him. Just because of that sun, you can see him off camera really struggling to handle the glare.
Yeah, you can see him putting his hands sort of just above.
I mean, we're having to do that and we're both wearing sunglasses, so that tells you something.
Wara giving a salute to the sun.
Well said.
Oscar Umar, loose pass. Collected by Haji Barry, but that was also a loose pass. Umar gets another chance. OCB collect with Schweitzer. De Silva. Back to Schweitzer. Now Haji Barry on the ball. Puts it out wide. Martz accelerates. Plays it in field. Deakin's touch was loose. Roberts has it. Roberts goes back to Wara. Wara under pressure. Right-footed. Keeps it in play to Bolduc. Bolduc to Umar.
Really nice bit of work from from Bolduc to get back to keep that one in bounds. That's what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about what he brings to this team. That technical ability, never like specifically flashy, but will do that work to keep it in bounds in a tight angle under pressure and then keep possession.
We are ticking towards half-time here. We're in the 38th minute. 0-0 at City Stadium. Richmond Kickers, Orlando City B.
Folks at home, the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL.
I'm going to say biggest star in the league is Didier Drogba.
I'd say it's a decent shout.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
But all the way in the Western Conference, so we haven't seen him at City Stadium this season.
And again, I want to say, if not the, then one of the world's first player owners is Didier Drogba.
It's going to be an OCB free kick in the 39th minute at City Stadium. We have a Kickers player down as well.
I think it might be Sonny. No, Sonny Johnny is still on his feet, excuse me. It looks like it's William Yambi is down getting a little bit of treatment. Maybe wants to avoid the treatment so he doesn't have to sub off. Instead, just gets back to his feet, has a word with the official, and also gets a booking for his efforts. So maybe that was one of those situations when you're like, I feel like I'm going to get booked. I might just try to make this look like I was also hurt, so I don't get the booking in the end.
He went to ground early. That's why it's a free kick. But it's also, I think, how he got at least a little bit hurt.
William Yambi, caution to number 2, Yambi of the Kickers.
It's De Silva to cross it in. Looking for Martz, it bounces through. Lee's up and over to close him down.
Some acrobatic attempt at defending there from Alex Lee. Went for it with his left foot. As we mentioned earlier, he is not left-footed, wasn't able to connect, was able to kind of drag that foot across Martz's back. No call given, but it looks like it will be a corner kick for Orlando City B here.
My mistake, Tyler. It's Zach Carroll, 71.
Apology accepted. I know you were concerned.
Cross comes in, headed out by Roberts. De Silva accelerates down the left. Shoots high and wide.
Last time these two teams met, Richmond Kickers really struggled to contain Pierre De Silva. He kept going in those 1v1 situations and coming out victorious. And I believe really just caused problems for the Kickers all over the field. So tonight I think they're heavily focused on making sure he doesn't get into any dangerous 1v1 situations. There's always players sliding across to try to double, triple team if need be. Really not able to get much going is the Orlando City B midfielder.
Actually, I know last time they met, Kickers won 2-0, but it was in Orlando as the hurricane was coming in. So I'm not sure how focused Orlando City B were.
I was about to make a horizon joke there, and then I felt like that was just a little bit too on the nose. Like just other things on the horizon, literally and figuratively, just, you know. And then in the end, I went for it anyway, so that's good.
Milan Roberts steps, wins, still has it. Loose ball is picked up by Deakin. Deakin to Luis Neal. Now here's De Silva. You can see Raul Gonzalez doesn't want to get too close to him. OCB forced backwards. Good win from Gonzalez. Finds the fit of Minatillo. He lays it off to Jane, who gets it out left to Alex Lee. Good counter-attack building from the Kickers. Umar to Jane. Jane, left-footed strike, only just wide. I've just remembered Sonny Jane's left-footed. I take back what I said about Travis Wara having the best left foot.
Good work there from Richmond Kickers, and I'm going to say an optimistic shot from Sonny Jane did end up going just wide, but I think a key component there was the Kickers getting numbers forward quickly. At times this season they've been a little bit hesitant. They tend to keep numbers behind the ball, and that tends to lead to a lack of offensive production. In this situation, as soon as the Kickers had that ball, they had 5 or 6 players really streaming forward, including Yudai Omura, who tends to sit back a little bit. Yeah. That's where I think they're going to find some more opportunities if they keep those numbers getting into the attack.
Luis Fernando has given away a free kick and is holding the back of his head. It looks like maybe there's a collision in the air. It's going to be OCB to take this free kick. Donovan to Alston. It was out of bounds. It was hard to see because it was on the far side. Just a couple minutes till half time here at City Stadium. Still 0-0. Roberts to Lee. Lee with the Ronaldo move. To Yudai Omura. Here's Matthew Bolduc. His cross is blocked. And cleared. Yambi to War. Back to Yambi. Alex Lee is open on this left side here. Jane spotted it. Really good touch to bring it down and turn to find Alex Lee, who he knew was open. Lee's ball to Luis Fernando didn't get there. Now OCB can break. Here's Deakin. Played it too far ahead of Luis Neal, who's not impressed. Now Jane again from the top of the box. Gives it to Luis Fernando and goes down after the play. Maybe Tony Rocha caught him after the pass was played.
I think he, it was a bit of a shirt pull as that pass went. Surprised the referee didn't give it 1 or 2 more seconds just to see if anything developed, but I think he figured maybe a free kick right from the top of the box in the dying moments of this first half. Yeah. A bit more optimistic than, a bit more of an opportunity that is, than a 1v1 situation. 3 minutes of added time here at City Stadium.
Has been added on. caution to Orlando's number 16.
So I'm going to call this Sonny Jane territory.
I'd say so. I mean, it's always like the kind of common narrative is that it's really difficult to get the ball up and down from this range from only about 20, 23 yards out. So we'll see what he's able to do with it.
It doesn't mean he doesn't want to try. Jane shoots. Great save. Great stretch save from Fenlison.
Absolutely amazing save there from Fenlison.
We're still in play. Gonzalez serves it in. Carroll heads it out. Here's Roberts. Out left to Alex Lee. Lee crosses. Fenlison easy to catch.
Really good work from Fenlison there, able to get across the goal, get a big paw to it, and I think most impressive of all, doesn't just parry it back into open play, pushes it wide,
Really got rid of it.
Doesn't give any opportunities for the kickers there. Excellent work from the Orlando City B goalkeeper.
Minutiello holds it up. Cleared by Carroll, it bounces back. Baldock at the end line. Baldock cuts it back. Collected by Luis Fernando. Shoots, blocked, gets it back, turns. Luis Fernando to Oscar Umar. His shot is blocked. OCB come away with it. And Luis Fernando fouls as they break.
Not sure if he's going to just get a talking to. That seemed like it was going to be a booking there. Luis Fernando with a kick after the ball had gone, and it will be a yellow card for Luis Fernando. We get a replay of that free kick.
Well done, Jake Fenlison.
I'm going to say well done to get a hand to it, but also I think that was good wall placement because then he's able to see the ball the whole way, gets across the goal, gets a hand to it. You do wonder if it had been the other side of the field, as Travis Warr continues to shield his eyes, if that might have been more of a problem.
Any chance that foul on Tony Rocha was a revenge foul from Luis Fernando? It was Tony Rocha who fouled Sonny Jane a few minutes earlier.
I would say, if anything, it was a frustration foul because we saw Luis Fernando not really able to create anything. In the end, had to drop that ball back, and then Oscar Umar's shot came to nothing. So I think he might have just been a little frustrated that nothing more came of it, and in that moment, had that little kick out.
All right,
but maybe the narrative of him being a better teammate is probably the better one to go with. I like where your head's at.
Here's Schweitzer. Bringing it forward for OCB. Exchanges passes with Neil. Now Connor Donovan runs into two Kickers players, turns around and goes back. Martz, Schweitzer. Good work from the Kickers. Now Yudai Amura goes back to his left back. Alex Lee, who goes down the wing. Referee blows his whistle. It is halftime at City Stadium.
It might have been one of the few passes completed between Alex Lee and Luis Fernando. That's something the Kickers will want to work on to get that combination going, to get more attack down the wings in that second half.
Any thoughts as we head into halftime?
I think Orlando City B, even though they did have their chances, will definitely be the more pleased of the two sides to get out of this one into halftime with the scores still deadlocked. Richmond Kickers with more of the ball and more opportunities. We'll see if they can keep that going in the second half.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hey, congratulations, guys. You know you guys all get one, right?
Oh. CBS 6 this morning, Emmy winner for Morning Newscast.
I'm gonna leave.
Choose between 1, 7, and 30-day unlimited ride passes. Pick the pass that's right for you and get ready to connect.
Elephant Auto Insurance presents Richmond Landmarks with Gene Cox. Built in 1901, Main Street Station has defined Richmond's skyline for over 100 years. One of the oldest train stations in the country, and it still keeps folks on the move. With its national headquarters right here in Richmond, Elephant keeps people on the move without breaking the bank. So log on to elephant.com for a free quote today. It's the most Richmond thing you can do.
At CBS 6 News, we aren't confined by four walls. Our office is out here in our community. CBS 6 News at 11, working for you.
Welcome back to City Stadium. It's Richmond Kickers 0, OCB 0. You're going to see a shot of the Saxon Ball Kids. There they are, doing a fine job today. I've seen no ball kid mistakes today.
No ball kids mistakes so far. If anything, they've done well to slow the game down at times when the Richmond Kickers seemed like they needed it in transition. So I think head coach Lee Calishaw will be pleased with their performance.
We're going to get the Kickers in trouble with the USL. Yeah, but well done. Good work, Saxon Ball Kids. All right, Taylor. So this first half, what do you make of it?
I think, as I said, heading into the break, the Kickers will probably be the more pleased of the two sides in terms of their attacking performance. I think Orlando City B will be pleased that the score is still 0-0. Richmond Kickers had some very good opportunities in the first 15 and in the second 15. We'll get to look at some of those highlights here.
Let's take a look. Quite a few opportunities at goal in the first half.
Quite a few opportunities at goal, some physical play, a few yellow cards dished out as well. It's been a feisty affair, I'll put it that way.
Kickers free kicks caused a little trouble for OCB early on. But really it was also OCB getting in behind the Kickers in the first 10 minutes, something that the Kickers fixed but was saved by William Yompi tackles just like that one.
Yeah, it seems like the Kickers, when they had that stoppage for Oliver going out with injury, you see Minatillo making his way onto the field there, getting that shot off. Seemed like they made some adjustments, clogged the middle. Orlando City being not able to do much with that. So instead, I think, spent most of their time moving the ball from left to right, back and forth, keeping the ball out wide, looking for crosses when they could get them. Another big shot there from Sonny John A, and we see the free kick from Sonny John A as well.
That's probably the best strike on goal the Kickers had was Sonny John A's free kick right there.
I'd say so. They haven't really gotten too many clear-cut chances. It's been a lot of half chances and a lot of opportunities under pressure.
Good crowd at City Stadium here today. Again, lots of red. You can see people getting some halftime snacks as they get ready for the second half. We're going to take one more break. We'll be back with you for second half kickoff.
Catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color-coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
The road to the 2017 USL Cup playoffs continues to evolve. In Week 24, Real Monarchs SLC became the first team to clinch a spot in the postseason. But Week 26 saw two more clubs claim their position, with San Antonio FC doing so in midweek and Louisville City FC earning the first Eastern Conference postseason spot over the weekend. Maintaining their position as a top team in the Western Conference, Real Monarchs SLC were able to seal their position in the postseason in Week 24 despite falling to San Antonio FC. The Monarchs still clinched due to a loss by Oklahoma City Energy FC earlier in the night. San Antonio FC punched its ticket to the playoffs last Wednesday night on the road at Orange County SC. Ben Noonan tallied the lone goal of the game, which earned San Antonio FC its first trip to the postseason in club history. A hard-fought draw in front of a home crowd of more than 8,300 fans at Slugger Field put Louisville City FC in a position to clinch a spot in the USL Cup playoffs if other results went their way on the weekend. With Orlando City B falling to St. Louis FC on Saturday night, Lou City was officially in the playoffs for the third season in a row, and the first Eastern Conference side to do so. With plenty of teams still vying for a spot in the postseason, the playoff race continues to be one to watch. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Hey, congratulations, guys. You know you guys all get one, right?
Oh. CBS 6 This Morning, Emmy winner for Morning Newscast.
Elephant Auto Insurance presents Richmond Landmarks with Gene Cox. Built in 1901, Main Street Station has defined Richmond's skyline for over 100 years. One of the oldest train stations in the country, and it still keeps folks on the move. With its national headquarters right here in Richmond, Elephant keeps people on the move without breaking the bank. So log on to elephant.com for a free quote today. It's the most Richmond thing you can do.
I'm gonna leave when I cross the line, standing high above this moment in time. Gonna push to the side, gonna hold on tonight, 'cause I believe in love. This moment in time.
Choose between 1, 7, and 30-day unlimited ride passes. Pick the pass that's right for you and get ready to connect.
Welcome back to City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. That is not City Stadium, that is downtown Richmond, but we're not far from there.
We're not.
We're not far from there at all. It's Richmond Kickers 0, Orlando City B 0. We're going to take a look at the stats here, presented by GRTC. As we said, 0-0. Kickers leading through shots, but even on shots on goal.
I think the other telling statistic here, 15 fouls total in the first half, evenly distributed. Richmond Kickers getting those 2 yellow cards, Orlando City B with the 1. But it has been a physical affair. I think referee trying to keep it kind of orderly early, let things go a little bit more, and by the end, I think was more than happy to give out a few yellows just to keep things nice and neat.
All right, top of your head, can you remember who it was? Luis Fernando, I believe, got one for the Kickers.
Luis Fernando, William Yambi, I cannot remember for Orlando City B.
Maybe Tony Rocha.
I think it was Tony Rocha for the foul, that led to the free kick, that led to the lovely save.
We're hearing from producer Mike, we are correct, it was Tony Rocha. We aced the test, we aced the stats test. Okay, if we're going to change that top stat, Taylor, 0-0, what do each of these teams need to do differently?
I think Orlando City B need to try to find a way to play through the middle again. I think they had those opportunities to use that pace when
balls in behind, right?
Yeah,
for
when
Haji Barry.
Richmond looked a little uncertain at times. I think you're never really going to succeed if you're trying to beat Milan Roberts and William Yambi over the top through the air. But if you're trying to beat them in a foot race, I think that's where you're going to have some opportunities. So if they can find a way to penetrate that kind of big, hard shell of Richmond defenders, then I think they're going to get those chances. Otherwise, it's going to have to be kind of getting it to the end line, crossing it back towards the penalty spot. For the Kickers, I think it's going to have to be a little bit more of the same. I think at times in the between like minutes, I'd say 15 and 40 thereabouts. The Kickers.
So most of the first half?
Maybe 15 and 35 then. The Kickers ended up trying to hoof it long a little bit. They had some good possession, but then I think that long ball over the top was just like an outlet they looked for too often. I think instead, if they can get some better combinations from left back to left midfield, right back to right midfield, they're going to get those opportunities. And then I think continuing to get numbers forward quickly and effectively is going to be key to the second half.
And Kickers have already had to make a change, which is going to limit head coach Lee Cowdershaw's options coming off the bench for the second half.
Yeah, I think we would have both expected to have seen Mikey Minatello at some point. We saw him earlier than expected when Oliver went down with that hamstring injury. Wouldn't be surprised to see Fred Owusu-Sekire to get some minutes. Same goes for Jackson Eski if the Richmond Kickers are going to try to chase that victory in their final home game of the season.
And again, a reminder, Orlando City B, they could really do with the win to get in the top 8 to make those playoffs. So I wouldn't be surprised the longer this game goes on that Anthony Poulos is not happy with a 0-0 draw, not happy with not taking all 3 points. I would expect to see him maybe roll the dice a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Michael Cox, Albert Dikwa, and Ben Polk are your three very attacking options. Then you could see Paul Klaus as well. We've seen him before doing a good job of clogging up that middle, creating opportunities for Orlando City B as well.
We've seen him in a Kickers jersey a few years back.
And Scott Thompson as well, if we're going down that path. Scott Thompson we've seen here at City Stadium in a Kickers jersey as an outside back and as an outside attacking midfielder. We might see him in either one of those opportunities tonight for Orlando City B.
So we have the Richmond Kickers back on the field. We have the refereeing crew back on the field. We have the Richmond City fans filling the stadium back up as they get their halftime refreshments and make their way back to their seats.
And Orlando City B now back on the field, just moments away from second half kickoff. Anything you would like to see from either team, Daryl Grove?
I mean, I've been in the mood for goals, so anything that sort of opens things up a bit more, I'm all about. Yeah, maybe a second striker for Orlando City B. I'd like to see that as the game goes forward. For the Kickers, I mean, like we said, they've already brought on Mikey Minatello, so there's not really an attacking change that they can make. I always like to see Fred Owusu-Sekire, and I expect we will, either in central midfield or out wide, at some point later on.
Yeah, I think the tendency of late has been to have him come on for Udai Amura in about the 55th to 65th minute thereabouts. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And I really do just hope the Kickers are able to find a bit more consistency through the middle and in terms of committing those numbers forward. What I don't want to see, because you would like to see some goals, I'd like to see an exciting second half. I don't want to see 6 Kickers players sitting behind the ball at any given moment. I'd like to see those numbers get forward. Same too for Orlando City.
Yeah, so the fans, I think Richmond fans have been sort of really consistent about still turning up, even when the Kickers are on that sort of 10-15 game winning streak. It'd be really nice to reward them with a nice attacking display in the second half to close out the home game.
I mean, yeah, and to your point,
the home game.
Kickers are poised to break their season-long attendance record.
Yeah.
I mean, that speaks to how dedicated the fans are, continue to come out when the results weren't going their way. I think, yeah, it'd be nice to reward them with a goal or two in the second half.
So we don't have the official attendance for tonight, but just looking around, I'm guessing they have broken that average attendance record.
Sure, I'm sure we'll get.
Pretty confident.
I'm sure we'll get the official word here in the second half, or if the fans just start randomly screaming, then we'll know.
All right, there's Schweitzer ready to get us underway for the second half. He goes all the way back to Zach Carroll, and he goes left. They're going to try and work that left channel again. Yumby with his head to it. Raul Gonzalez gets at the chest, lifts it forward. Lewis Neal collects, slows it down a bit. Schweitzer puts it in for Haji Barry. Haji Barry dribbles it backwards, out to Austin Martz, down the line. For Deacon, it's out of bounds. I also, Taylor, at half-time, this is genuine, I heard from someone at USL head office that Pierre da Silva is, in fact, the #1 USL 20 under 20 player.
So congratulations to him and well done to the USL front office. Yeah.
Specifically Nicholas Murray.
Thank you,
Nicholas. And here is Pierre da Silva ready to take this. You know, he's been on almost every set piece for OCB tonight. really impressive for a very young man.
I'm going to say he's good, Daryl.
Yeah.
I think you heard it here first, not from that list that we just mentioned.
30 seconds left to bid on the jerseys. 30 seconds.
OCB clustered around the top of the box. Cross comes in. Into the danger. Carroll got a touch to it. And Alex Lee cleared it. Referee, I think, blew his whistle.
I'm wondering if maybe there was an inadvertent handball there. Looked like it was going to be a problem for the Kickers. I think Orlando City B just didn't think that ball was going to get through, and by the time it spilled in there, maybe it was just an accidental handball from Connor Donovan.
Let's see it one more time.
9, 8, 7, 6.
I'm not sure if maybe he was offside there, or maybe
that
he
might
just...
be it. But it was a nice back heel.
2, 1,
and a nice defensive header there, too.
Yeah. Diving defensive header. DDH.
That's an off the stat, right?
Yeah. Travis Wara under pressure, kicks long. Luis Fernando. Kickers fight for it, but lose out. It's going to be an OCB throw. Martz to Carroll. Carroll goes long down the line, looking for Haji Barry. Barry gives chase. Wara's off his line. And the rollout to Captain Yumbi. Yumbi out to Raul Gonzalez. Gives it him back. I see Sonny Janet with his arms in the air. Wara's under pressure from Rocha. He tries to find Janet. Good step and read from Austin Martz.
Good awareness there from Rocha. Was played in with that header, but knew he was about 10 yards offside, lets it roll out, and now the Kickers with a throw in deep in their own territory. You can imagine Orlando City B are going to be trying to put them under deep pressure right away.
There's the throw. Janet with the flick. Luis Fernando with the backheel flick. Ball's out of bounds. Kickers throw. Throw from Lee into Minatillo. Holds it up. Flicks it back. Schweitzer intercepts. It's Deakin to Rocha. To Neal. OCB moving the ball now. De Silva came and showed. One-timed it. Neal's ball out wide to Kevin Alston. Did not make it. Raul Gonzalez down the line. It feels like the tempo's gone out of this game all of a sudden, Tanner. What's happened?
Halftime? I think is the honest answer. I think both teams probably got a talking to from the managers. Both teams trying to execute the game plan that they've been sent out with.
Shot from distance. Wara tips it over the bar. That was Deakin with the strike.
And I think anytime you've got those kind of specific instructions, neither team wants to make a mistake in those first 5 to 10 minutes. So everybody maybe a little bit hesitant, although Orlando City B definitely probing the Richmond Kickers defense and have been the more aggressive of the two teams at the start of this half.
I've seen a lot of sort of just desperate like flicks and just trying to help the ball on from the Kickers. Not very deliberate passing.
No, and I think to your point earlier, you're seeing a lot of players kind of standing, waiting for the ball to come. Not a lot of movement to help transition into attack.
De Silva's cross. Headed out by Roberts. Cleared by Lee. Fernando couldn't get there. I saw Barry ready to take it quickly, and Luis Fernando sort of ran up and got in his face.
Good gamesmanship there from Richmond Kickers. Very good gamesmanship from Orlando City B to win the coin toss, I'm assuming, because the sun has dropped enough behind the clouds and the trees here at City Stadium that I don't think Orlando City B will have too much to worry about in the second half in terms of that glare.
I predict that sun's coming back, though. Because it's essentially one big cloud is keeping that sun away.
Yeah, we'll
It's really dropped the temperature, though. Martz to Alston. Good flick on from Schweitzer. Haji Barry not impressed with the pass that was supposed to find him. Yombi to Oscar Umar. Oscar Umar finds some space on the right. Raul Gonzalez has a little bit of space to advance into. He has Bolduc to his right. Here he goes. He looks up. Janet wanted the square pass. Gonzalez tried the cross, I think looking for Minatillo.
I think he was actually, I think he was looking for Luis Fernando, but I think he couldn't get it cleanly before he came under pressure. But Luis Fernando did have a good 5 or 10 yards on his theoretical defender. That space got closed down, and Alex Lee, I think, tried to rush it to get that ball in and couldn't take it quite as cleanly as he would have liked.
Donovan has to play under pressure. Lee gets ahead to it and then went through Deacon on the second attempt. I'm surprised he didn't get a talking to.
As am I. That felt like an overly aggressive play to disrupt a counterattack.
Did. Yombi bangs it forward. Minatillo giving chase. Martz puts it down the line. Here's Martz again. Martz has found Haji Barry in that right channel. Barry looks up. Tried to flash it across the face of goal. Warra claims it. Martz keeps it in. He's been very involved so far this second half. Alston, Bolduc blocking his way. Kickers putting some pressure on.
Yeah, more than we're used to. It seemed like they were maybe just trying to do like a contained pressure to start. Now they're definitely sending numbers forward, but that leaves them vulnerable at the back.
Alston, first time ball. Yombi got there. And Roberts keeps it in play. Yeah, actually I noticed the front four of the Kickers were pressing, but the back six, there was a big gap between them. Big gap in midfield, and OCB exploited it in the end. Janet turns quickly, through ball. He's found Luis Fernando. Fernando is one-on-one with the keeper. Fernando shoots low. Good foot save from Fenlerson.
But a beautiful turn and play from Sonny Janet there.
Yeah, it was.
Great control. Excellent through ball, good 40, 50-yard ball into the feet of Luis Fernando, and a great save from Fenlerson to keep this score deadlocked at 0.
Yeah, Janet's looked like the fastest thinker on this Kickers team today. He's the guy that can really switch the direction of play.
It also makes me wonder with like the speed with which he turned and played that ball, if that's something the Kickers have identified as Luis Fernando, maybe that little bit of pace, maybe with Orlando City B starting to send numbers forward, if he's going to be open more often.
Looks like Bolduc to take this corner. Served in. Lee got the flick on, but it's gone through. You saw Schweitzer give the international gesture for let it go, let it go.
Luis Fernando's still thinking about that one. You can see him just a little bit frustrated, doing a little bit of fist to palm punching. I think he really wanted that goal, hoped for that goal, but it was a great save from Fenlerson to get down low, use the feet to keep it clear.
It's going to be a Kickers throw. Umar goes back to Warra. Yombi brings it forward. Yombi switches play with a really nice ball to Alex Lee. Alex Lee has space to run into. He goes for Mikey Minatillo. Minatillo drops it back. Janet just overran it. It's cleared by Schweitzer.
Fans, stay up to date on all the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XMFC. That's channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XMFC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
Some good play from the Kickers there. Ends with a free kick. It's going to be Gonzalez to take it. You can see from the field that our hot friend, the sun, is back. And for now, it's possibly in Fenlerson's eyes. I think the shadows are going to move, though, so we won't have to worry about it for too long.
You can't tell. He's got big stretches there, I think, blocked out by the trees and then the far ground. We'll see if it factors into it, although he does have the hand covering the eyes now. Yep. So, yeah, I think to your point, more of a factor than I initially thought.
Here's Jane making his way through midfield. Gets it out right to Raul Gonzalez. Gonzalez crosses low across the 6-yard box. It bounces out.
Good ideas from Gonzalez there, especially with the sun, especially with the Kickers players advancing, Orlando City be transitioning, just to try to put that ball into the mixer, but nobody on the end of it goes out for the goal kick for Orlando City B.
I think you can tell I've been very impressed with Sonny Jane these last 10 minutes, basically this whole second half. Since the half is only 10 minutes and 40 seconds off.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I saw your face. Here's Tony Rocha for OCB. He drops it back to Carroll. Carroll pokes it forward for Deacon to chase. It's a foot race between Deacon and Lee. Lee's going to do his now traditional shepherd over the end line. Deacon was wise to it, kept it in, but only gave the ball to Alex Lee. Minatillo with the tackle. It's loose to Pierre Da Silva. Da Silva accelerates out left. He's got away from Raul Gonzalez. Gonzalez just got a toe poke in and won a goal kick. He must have played it off of Pierre Da Silva.
I'm not sure if Da Silva was looking to maybe try to draw a little bit of contact there or just to get that one out for the corner kick, but good defensive work and obviously nice work for the Richmond Kickers to earn a goal kick.
Bolduc, good work from the Saxon ball kid there to drag that ball back in play. Da Silva to Alston, to Rocha. Rocha couldn't quite get hold of it. Here's Martz. Martz dribbles inside, tried to find Barry, cleared by Roberts. Here goes Sonny Jane again. This time he's tackled by Tony Rocha. Schweitzer turns, gives it to Lewis Neal. Neal to Da Silva. Barry to Lewis Neal again. Lewis Neal scored the winning goal for Orlando City B in their last game. Neal into the feet of Haji Barry. Barry puts it wide for Deacon to chase. Turns in the corner, tackled by Luis Fernando. Nice 1-2 with Oscar Umar. It's still Luis Fernando, he still has the ball. He gets away, gives it to Minatillo. Minatillo turns, drops it to Umar. Umar to Imura. Yudai Imura has seen Raul Gonzalez out here. Now it's Gonzalez and Baldo down this right. Umar over the top for Bolduc to chase. Jani collects the rebound. Good clearance from Rocha. Alex Lee jumped over the top of Pierre Da Silva.
I think that was Raul Gonzalez, actually.
Oh, excuse me, yes.
Top, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like maybe a knee to the back of the head there. Player will get treatment. Referee comment on the trainers. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. I think Kickers players there contesting that one, arguing that Raul Gonzalez went straight up to try to win that one. Maybe there was a little bit of backing in from Pierre Da Silva. We'll get a replay here.
It's a bit of both, right? Doesn't Lee jump sort of into his back, but then Pierre Da Silva crouches down a bit, so he undercuts him a little bit?
I think Raul Gonzalez came in over the top. I think in this situation the referee got it right. I think he isn't going straight up there. He is coming into it. I think there's always going to be a little bit of forward momentum when you're trying to meet the ball, but in that situation you're putting the other player's safety at risk. I think it's a correctly given free kick, but no
you're
card.
Correct. There's an angle on his jump, right? So he's not going straight up.
And I think the referee just called Raul Gonzalez over, like gestured over, but then said, like, no, don't worry about it, you're not getting a card. But I think I had to talk to him about, like, just making sure you're in control of your body when you go to win that header.
They just ended that debate. Referee always wins the debate.
Even if players don't like to accept that. Yeah, that is generally the truth.
Ball for Barry is met by Yumby. Da Silva is off the field right now because he got treatment. He can't come in until that ball goes out of bounds again. Crossfield ball from Gonzalez, nodded down by Minatillo. Collected by Luis Fernando. Fernando in low. Carroll is there.
I am surprised Da Silva hasn't been way back on the field yet. I think the OCB trainer agrees, looking a little frustrated down here on our side.
Carroll slips and clears. Ref says play on. He's been waved back on. Pierre Da Silva is back on the field. Is it just you got to get the referee's attention to?
Yeah, I think basically there has to be like not a significant, but a little bit of time passes before you get way back on.
Now Alston, here's Pierre Da Silva. Looks determined to go at Gonzalez. Gets away from him. Cross is low. Ball is loose. Haji Barry gets a shot at Travis Wara. Did I hear a whistle beforehand, though?
You did. I think maybe an inadvertent handball there or a deliberate handball. Tough to tell from this angle. Either way, Travis Wara definitely one of those goalkeepers. Doesn't matter if the whistle's gone. He is not letting that ball in the back of the net. And he does just that.
Maybe a handball on Barry. Warren says, get up. I heard that over here. He kicks long. Minatillo flicks it on. Bolduc didn't quite read it correctly, I don't think. Fenlison under pressure from Minatillo. Gives it to Carroll. Minatillo slides in and wins a throw-in for the Richmond Kickers. Good defending from the front from Mikey Minatillo there. Roberts found Jane, but it was a heavy pass. Now Schweitzer puts it ahead for Haji Barry. Barry is away down the right. Ball's loose at the top. Schweitzer gets there, gives it to Da Silva. Pierre Da Silva. Goes backwards to Alston and gets it back. A little bit of space on the left to work with her. He's up against Raul Gonzalez. Finds enough space to cross low. Yumby, first time clearance. Rocha. To Alston. To Rocha. Pressure from Minatillo comes in from behind. Da Silva has found Alston. No, it's gone out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick.
Doesn't quite come off there, but that was a better example of what Orlando City B need to be doing. Get the ball in the middle, turn, play quickly through. Haji Berry causing problems, and then you have that sustained bout of possession there for Orlando City B, and now they're very much on the front foot.
Alex Lee taken down as he tried to get away from Austin Martz.
Folks, at home, the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL.
Jonathan Williams, Sarah Church, and John Brooks. If I call out your name, you're the winner of one of the Kickers jersey auction bids.
Roberts goes back to War. Long kick looking for Mikey Minatillo. Flicks it up in the air and wins the second one. Udai Moore with a good, I'm going to call it a slide and spin. That's a move I've never seen before.
I'm going to call it desperation. He was just trying to make sure that Orlando City B didn't get the ball back
either way
in an advantageous position.
Cleared by Deakin for Haji Barry to chase. Barry looks faster than Roberts here. He's got there. Roberts holds him up out wide. Good defending from Milan Roberts, and the pass to Luis Fernando, who's dispossessed by Tony Rocha. I don't imagine that will sit well with Lee Cowdershaw.
No, I think he immediately stood up and walked over to look at who he had warming up, and I think we're going to see Owusu Sekire get a recall
from the top of the box shoots. It hits William Yombi in the arm. No foul, says the referee. Here comes Matthew Bolduc. He's got Udai Imura to his right. Gives it to him. Minatillo has pulled wide as well. Imura goes back to the middle, to Jane. Jane, good left-footed diagonal ball. Alex Lee gets to the end line. He's trying to find an option to cross. Tries to beat Austin Martz, still has the ball, gives it to Umar. Taken quickly, here's Sonny Jane. Oscar Umar. All the way back to Travis Warrer. Yombi tried to go diagonal, gives the hand up in apology.
Kickers head coach Lee Cowdershaw was standing in the trajectory of that ball, just leaned out of the way to let it go by. I think he wasn't in too much of a hurry for Orlando City to take that throw in.
Long ball looking for Barry. Roberts wins it. Anthony Poulis in much more of a hurry. Throws it to Austin Martz. Rocha with a clever touch to get it to Neil. Neil with a clever touch lifts it over the head of Bolduc out to Alston. Alston back to Rocha. Rocha couldn't clear Alex Lee. Rocha low into Barry. Lee holds him off. Roberts clears. Ball for Minatillo to chase. I don't think Carroll or Minatillo knew what was going on there, but Carroll came out with the ball. It was two men running in circles. Pierre Silva accepts that. Pierre Silva from the top of the box shoots. Just wide.
Really nice work there from Pierre Silva. Receives that ball. Nice first touch to set himself up to take that shot as quickly as possible. Just puts it around that far post. Travis Wara maybe had it covered. Either way, too close for comfort for the Richmond Kickers.
Wara goes long. You get one more look at Pierre Silva's strike. Right-footed, his weaker foot. Only just wide. Now Luis Fernando is away down the left. Crosses it in low. Bolduc nearly got there. Really good defending from Kevin Alston to just get across, put that ball out of play.
Did really well to close that gap to Alston. I think he didn't expect Luis Fernando to win that foot race. When he did, Bolduc had a good 5 yards ahead of Alston. Alston gets back in time just to make a play on the ball. No contact either. Nice, clean defensive play to put it out for a corner kick.
That's why he's a one-time MLS All-Star. Ball crossed in. It hits Carroll in the box. Minatillo tries something acrobatic.
I think that's going to be called dangerous play, and it will be a free kick for Orlando City B. Meanwhile, it looks like the Richmond Kickers are set to make their second substitution of the game when the opportunity presents itself. I think it's going to be Luis Fernando coming off, Fred Owusu-Sekire coming on. Battling Fred, as you like to call him.
Gonzalez has missed this. Pierre Silva. Udai Morris covering for Gonzalez. Then Rocha to Schweitzer in the middle. Ball into Barry, was cut out by Yambi. Here come OCB again. Connor Donovan on the left wing. Not where he expected to be, but he's found a lot of space. Donovan tried to cut it back. His opposition centre-back, Milan Roberts, was out to shut that down. Pierre Silva showing us some immaturity.
I think not pleased about that. He thought it was shoulder to shoulder and that he had won the ball clean. The referee disagrees. Pierre Silva vehemently disagrees. And now we will have that substitution for the Richmond Kickers before this free kick is taken. It will be Luis Fernando coming off, Fred Owusu-Sekire coming on. Referee signaled for the substitution to happen, but I'm not sure you can make that change on a free kick. But now they'll make the change. There we are. A little bit of confusion there between the fourth official and the center referee. But now Luis Fernando off. Fred Owusu-Sekire come on. This substitution presented by Elephant Auto Insurance.
So Owusu-Sekire will offer something a little different down the left. Not as much pace, not as much dribbling, but the ability to cross in a really high quality ball. Warwick clears to midfield. Owusu-Sekire's first involvement is to lose a header to a giant centre-back. Here goes Connor Donovan after his brief sojourn to the left wing. Do you think the Kickers were so confused about like what Connor Donovan was doing on the left wing?
What is this now?
Yeah. This is new. Tony Rocha to Lewis Neal. There is a serious argument in there for sort of breaking the more predictable patterns of play. Really will open things up.
Yeah, just because anytime you get suddenly maybe you've got 3 players on the left-hand side, Kickers expecting 2, now you've got that 3v2, can always lead to something better.
Here's Barry after a nice touch from De Silva. Martz advancing. Martz tries to cross low, couldn't get past Alex Lee. Good defensive work from Alex Lee on that left side today. Schweitzer is in the box, gives it to Barry. Barry in some space. Roberts is in the way. In a good way.
I think that might have been William Yambi, actually, and that was handball not given. Orlando City B fans pretty disappointed by that.
Kevin Alston accelerates away from Bolduc, squares it. Lee gets it out of danger. Ushikiri's going to get there first, gets a toe ahead, then goes down, does not win the free kick. It's an OCB throw.
Kickers dodging some bullets here. There was some contact there between Bolduc and the attacker there. Also could have been a questionable decision, but no call given. Good work by Alston to get in behind.
Now here's Alston on the left again. Alston up against Bolduc. Now Pierre da Silva. It's feeling very much like OCB's 5 minutes here.
By the way, my mistake on that last one. You're right, it was Mullen Roberts.
Do you think it was a handball?
He definitely hit his hand. I think the referee's saying maybe there's not much he could have done about it.
Right.
From my vantage point, I think the Kickers will probably consider themselves fortunate. Fans, stay up to date on all the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XMFC channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XMFC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
Here's Lewis Neal into Rocha. To Barry. De Silva, tackled by a combination of Gonzalez and Bolduc. Bolduc is accelerating away from the OCB defenders. He's now got a 2-on-2. Bolduc finds the run of Minatillo, who slides. Good save from Fenlerson. Ball bounces loose. Rocha was very calm there to let that ball go through to Fenlerson again.
That was really, really good work from Matthew Bolduc there. Saw Minatillo making that run early, but recognized that it wasn't going to lead to much. Drives forward, cuts across Rocha, so it's only going to be either nothing or a free kick. Then is able to play a really well-rated ball in from Minatillo. Just can't get quite on the end of it cleanly. And good work there from Fenlerson to get up, get across, and collect a loose ball.
I've got to say, Mikey Minatillo, A for effort. Uday Mura now finds Raul Gonzalez on the right. Gonzalez crosses, good ball to the far post, just a little too far for Mikey Minatillo.
I think supporting your claim that fall is upon us, we have a giant flock of geese in a flying V flying south.
It's not a claim that fall is upon us, the calendar says it is. Roberts with the header to Alex Lee.
Controversial claims from Daryl Grove.
Imura to Umar. He turns sharply, has to go back to Wara. Wara, first time out to Raul Gonzalez.
Next, you're going to bring back your theory that water's wet. I don't know how I feel about that one either.
Gonzalez switches the field. Out to his other fullback, Alex Lee. Lee tried to find Jeanne. Mikey Minatillo is going to collect it at the top of the box. Good turn, but even better tackle from Jordan Schweitzer.
I think Matthew Bolduc might be and should be frustrated by that decision there. Was wide open. I think nobody on Orlando City B had noticed him drifting into the back post. Ball delivered to the near post. Nothing comes of it.
It's very hard to tell which way this game is going to swing in the final 16, 17 minutes here.
I think Anthony Pulis is going to try to do something about that. Looks like we will have a change for Orlando City B.
Oh, yeah. My guess is a more attacking move, as I suggested. Right, they really want the points. They really want to move up the USL Eastern Conference standings.
I think it's a safe bet on both accounts.
Deakin to Martz, gets it back to Schweitzer. Square to Rocha. De Silva, who's come in field a little bit, shoots from the top of the box. That one is over.
I believe that substitution for Orlando City B is going to be number 99, Michael Cox, who is going to be functioning as a forward. Not sure if that will be to replace Haji Berry or to play alongside of him up top.
Travis Wara kicks to the halfway line. Big win in the air. Roberts goes back to Wara, who clears again. This one's going to be collected by Rocha. Rocha drives it forward. Out right to Deakin. And back to him. Into Lewis Neal, who's found a nice bit of space there. De Silva takes and turns, gets away from Gonzalez. I feel like De Silva almost let Gonzalez catch up then, like he wanted to beat him.
I think he was hoping he might get a foot across to put that ball out for a corner kick. Instead, nothing doing, and it will be a goal kick taken quickly by the Kickers. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com.
Milan Roberts was secure with a nice feint and turn. Plays the ball into Mikey Minatillo, who's up against Connor Donovan. Another slide tackle. Tony Rocha with a bit of space to Lewis Neal. Kickers look a little bit stretched right now. Neal over the top for the Silva. Flag is up. Gonzalez was back anyway. Quite the little battle on this side.
Yes, it is. Meanwhile, Danny Deacon will make way for Michael Cox coming on. So it looks like he will partner Haji Berry up top. This substitution presented by Elephant Auto Insurance. I said that, but now it looks like Haji Berry has drifted out onto the right-hand side.
Yeah.
So maybe Orlando City are going to be more in like sticking with that 4-2-3-1, maybe shifting into a 4-1-4-1 or even like a 4-3-3.
With Sakiri with the ball into Sonny Jane, couldn't quite get it. Kevin Alston clears. Ball over the top from Rocha, from Michael Cox to chase. Cox tried the low ball, was blocked by Roberts. From what I remember about Michael Cox, he's a bit more of a target man than Haji Barry is. I mean, Barry we've seen can really run at players, so he might still offer a threat down that right wing, but Cox will give them maybe a sort of an option for a long ball and then he can nod it down.
Meanwhile, behind the play, it looks like Sonny Jane has gone down with injury, problem with his ankle, it looks like. We'll get some treatment, and maybe we'll see the final Richmond Kickers substitution. I think it's going to be Jackson Esky getting his final instructions. Will come on as the Kickers' final substitution at home this season.
Did you see what happened to Jane, or did you just see him start hopping?
I think he might have turned it there in that little attack passing sequence earlier when the Kickers looked to go a little bit direct. I think he might have gotten some contact there, maybe just a twist and landed awkwardly. Either way, it doesn't seem like he's going to continue. I'm assuming that's more about evaluating the severity of the situation.
Yeah.
He'll hop off without putting too much pressure on that right ankle.
So Kickers are temporarily down to 10 men, although I see the substitution board is already up.
And it is Jackson Esky coming on for the injured Sonny Jane. This substitution presented by Elephant Auto Insurance.
So we can expect SK to go in basically the same position.
That would be my guess, yeah.
But I don't think SK is going to offer that same sort of quick turn and through ball that Sonny Jane has been able to.
It's a safe bet. I think there are a few Kickers players who are capable of doing what
that's
Sonny
no
Jane is
knock on
capable
SK.
of doing.
That's more that Jane is kind of irreplaceable in that sense. Big throw from Alston. Big header from Roberts. Cox collects at the top of the box. Tackled by Frederick Sakiri. Cross comes back in. Travis Warra claims it. Warra looks downfield, but there's no one there. All the Kickers were back defending. Gonzalez to Yudai Mura.
Fans, the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date on all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL. Michael
Cox has it out wide. Puts it in low for Haji Barry. Barry takes it in stride and shoots it past Travis Warra. It is 1-0 Orlando City B.
And a nice choreographed celebration there between Haji Berry and Michael Cox. Lovely finish there from Orlando City B. Richmond Kickers pretty shell-shocked by that one, as is the Red Army. Always a silencer to score right in front of the Red Army, as you can see a dejected Matthew Baldock looking on.
Let's take another look at this. You can see Cox and Barry have kind of temporarily switched positions there. It maybe pulled the Kickers out of shape a little bit.
I think so. I think Cox drifting out to the right just opened the Kickers up enough for Haji Berry to come through. That's what Orlando City B, I think, have been trying to do since the beginning of this game. Finally able to do it with that substitution. Good managerial decisions made by Poulos, and now Orlando City B with the 1-0 lead.
And just 10 minutes here, the Kickers' final home game of the season. Umar out left to Lee. I'm right in thinking the Kickers have made all 3 substitutions, so there are no more changes to come from the Kickers. If they're going to make any changes, it's going to be with the players they have on the field. Gonzalez crosses it. Minatillo gets his head to it. Not much power in that, though. Easy for Fenlison to claim.
I think not much power, and might even have taken a slight deflection there to slow it down even further.
Big kick from Fenlerson, headed on by Michael Cox. So that was something that Haji Barry wasn't able to accomplish against the Kickers' two sort of towering centre-backs. Travis Warrer under pressure gets away from Michael Cox, who's not giving up. Now Roberts under pressure from Haji Barry. Eventually has to just clear it out of bounds. Good high pressure from OCB. Schweitzer now to Martz. You see OCB in no hurry here.
No, and I think with good reason. Richmond Kickers fans, it seems like a little bit of that atmosphere has been knocked out of the stadium. I think nobody really expecting that goal to come, except for Orlando City B, who did some good work and some good changes to make it happen.
I didn't notice. Did you see the body language of the Kickers players from kickoff? It wasn't, let's go get this.
No,
it was more
not.
like,
It felt a little bit more, here we go again, than it did, let's make this happen.
This has been a familiar feeling for Kickers this season, especially on that sort of winless run, which was, a decent, solid performance where you seem to have closed down the opposition for most of the game, and then suddenly there's one change and it breaks the Kickers open. And those have been penalty kicks and free kicks and just loose balls that have gone through. Here's Gonzalez, accelerates down the right. Step over and a run. He was pushed by Kevin Alston. He's going to win a free kick.
It's a smart foul there by Alston, who I think recognized he didn't have the legs for that one. Just steps across, initiates that contact, knocks Gonzalez off the ball, but doesn't do so in such a blatant way that it's going to be a card. Instead, just a free kick to be taken by Raul Gonzalez, the man who earned it.
Yeah, you're right. He was definitely away. Gonzalez with a short free kick down the line to Yudo Imura. Imura crosses, headed by Milan Roberts at the far post. Oscar Umar knocks it back. Good turn from Freddie Sakiri, and another one. Shot is blocked. Travis Warrer off his line to collect. Good first touch. Distributes it out left to Alex Lee. Lee tried the diagonal, didn't come off. Pierre da Silva heads it back towards the Richmond Kickers.
Didn't come off, and I think Alston might have gotten a little bit of a kick from Michael Cox.
Umar goes long, headed out by Zach Carroll. Bolduc takes it quickly. There is some urgency from the Richmond Kickers here. Body language has changed. They seem to believe that this is possible. Cleared and out of bounds. Gonzalez, quick throw. Oscar Umar. Switches it to Alex Lee. Lee, I'm going to say slightly chickened out and went backwards there.
I think after that maybe after that last diagonal, he just thought better of it.
Jackson Eske with a good interception and win there. Lee gives it back to Eske. Raul Gonzalez is calling for it on the far side. Umar goes the other way. It's intercepted by Barry, or at least got his head to it. Now Minatillo has it for the Kickers. Mikey Minatillo looks up, sees Yombi. Yombi to Imura. Kickers working it around but not getting anywhere right now. Ball goes long, looking for Roberts. Roberts flicks it on. Alston wins the second ball. Freddie Sakiri drops it back to Yuda Imura. He goes right to Raul Gonzalez.
Good acrobatic work from the center official to get out of the way of that pass.
Gonzalez crosses low. It's held by Fenlerson. You can see all the OCB players, huge sigh of relief.
Looks like we're going to see the final, second substitution for Orlando City B. It looks like it will be Timbo coming on for Pierre da Silva.
That is very much a defensive substitution.
That it is. What you're saying, if you take off a very attacking, creative player and bring on a defender, that's defensive?
Yes. Austin Martz did really well to muscle Minatillo off that ball. Two Rochester players failed to do so last week. Kickers have it back. Lee To battling Fred. Spreads it wide. Bolduc, and he has Raul Gonzalez with him. Gives it to him. He's onside. Gonzalez went for the Landon Donovan near post top corner.
That he did, and now we will have that change. It will be Pierre da Silva coming off, Timbo coming on. This substitution presented by Elephant Auto Insurance. Really good work there from Matthew Bolduc. As you see him go at the defender, sucker in Alston just enough to wrong foot him. That's when that ball goes in for Raul Gonzalez. I think Gonzalez just trying to make something happen. Maybe should have played that one across the top of the box, but from that distance, you can't really fault him for shooting. Maybe you can fault him for the end product, though.
Timbo, I can't say that I've seen him play before, but he looks like a centre-back to me. I think that's going to be an extra centre-back situation.
Centre-back with a hamstring issue. He's got compression shorts on, and it looks like a hamstring brace to boot.
But his job will be to sort of head out anything that comes in for the final few minutes. There we go. He's probably going to sit between Carroll and Connor Donovan. Cox gets there first. Rocha helped it on. Kickers with about 3 minutes plus added time at City Stadium. Lee to Frederick Sakiri. William Yombi and Milan Roberts are forward. Roberts gets a header. Eske gets there. Ball's loose. Oscar Umar steps and wins it. And he's still going. Ball's cleared. Sakiri collects.
Richmond Kickers with 5 players committed forward along that back line.
Mura looks wide, finds Raul Gonzalez. Crosses, comes in. Eske gets there. Yombi is up. Finlayson loses it and then finds it again.
Yombi got, I think, a couple of different shows from a couple of different players, enough that it limits his ability to go up and meet that one. Instead, Finlayson gets to it, doesn't hold it cleanly, but does eventually collect. We get a replay here of that semi-scrum in the box. Jackson Eske puts it back across. William Yombi there, a little bit of contact from both sides, nothing too aggressive, and in the end held by Finlayson.
So that Timbo substitution actually makes sense because Kickers have sent both centre-backs forward for the end of this game. Sakiri with a nice turn under pressure from Cox in the box and clears it. Eske brings it down.
Because when I think intimidating centre-backs, I think Frederick Sakiri. Alex Lee very frustrated on that far side, not just with that lack of a first touch and inability to control, but the fact that that ball should have gone forward directly from Jackson Eske, did not need to go backwards. Alex Lee basically stayed in the exact same position, but allowed Orlando City B to get back into shape.
Here's Yuda Imura, finds Eske. Eske, good work. Gets it out wide. Lee crosses. Yombi's up. It's headed out. Tony Rocha. Good pass under pressure from Oscar Umar. Referee's going to call that play back for a word with Oscar Umar. I see him reaching for his back pocket. That means red card.
Straight red card to Oscar Umar. Ball had gone. Aggressive tackle from behind. I'm going to say I saw that one just as it happened, and I'm going to say that is a correct decision. A foul born of complete frustration, maybe for the entire season, but especially for this evening. You can see the studs up just a little bit high. It looked worse than it was on first viewing. From that replay, it looks like that foot was just a little bit high coming through. What do you think, Daryl Grove?
I think, so that's the first time I saw it because I didn't catch it in the run of play. It looks like it's not necessarily overly aggressive, but it is dangerous to have your foot off the floor like that.
I think so. I think it's also a bit out of control, even if like he didn't mean for it to be the case, such as the case that his feet are off the ground. Even if it's just that knee up in the air, it's going to be aggressive contact, especially after the ball had gone, especially given the situation. I think referee entitled to hand out that red card.
So I think we can safely say that's the end of Oscar Umar's season. Kickers only have 2 away games to go. He's very, very likely going to be suspended for both of those. Exit stage right.
And that really does kind of sum up both this evening and the season as a whole for the Richmond Kickers. A lot of good stuff happening, ends in frustration, but you still have the loyal fans out waving those flags, cheering on their home team.
Cleared by Yumby. Minatillo on his thigh. Alex Lee down the line. Eske lost the ball, but is working to get it back. Tony Rocha now. Barry to Cox. Cox to Barry. Cox has really made a big difference for Orlando. Barry gets down the wing. It's going to be a goal kick for the Kickers.
Yeah, to your point, Cox causing lots of problems for the Kickers, but also causing problems because as soon as you try to send numbers over to kind of handle everything he offers, you leave other players, specifically Haji Berry, wide open. You can't really risk doing that either, so you kind of have to half commit on both accounts.
Good flick on from Minatillo to Milan Roberts. Roberts trying the shot there, wasn't really the best opportunity for it. Kickers get the chance to go again. 2 minutes of added time. Gonzalez puts it in low. He's going to get another go at this. Left-footed, looking for Minatillo. Headed out. Tony Rocha collects and gets rid.
I'm going to say Orlando City B, Luis Neal there specifically, have done well to figure out Raul Gonzalez always wants to hit that with his right foot.
Yeah.
So they are giving him all the time to play it with his left, which he does not want to do.
Fred's cross headed out by Zach Carroll. Full-time whistle goes. You can see the OCB players really celebrating that win.
You can see Mikey Minatillo coming across to have a word with the official. I think he's not entirely certain that that full 2 minutes was given, especially given some of the other stoppages that occurred. Either way, it will finish 1-0 Orlando City B here in the final game at City Stadium this season.
So there we go. That's the final home game for the Richmond Kickers this season. It ends Richmond Kickers 0, Orlando City B 1. Some disappointed Kickers. Fans I see over there still waving their flags despite seeing their team go down 1-0.
Yeah, and I think frustration for a lot of the fans here in attendance this evening, just because the Kickers did seem like they had the game plan they wanted to execute, did seem like they were really getting those opportunities, finding their rhythm, but unable to capitalize, unable to create really any clear-cut opportunities, and in the end, Orlando City B capitalized with that 1-0 win.
You could see Uday Imura sitting on the floor there before the cameraman stepped in front of him.
And I think really if you look at some of the body language of the players still in the field for the Kickers, again, indicative of the way the season has gone. Players not used to losing, not used to having a down season, certainly not being used to being eliminated from the playoffs as early, if not mathematically, than as early as the Richmond Kickers were this season. As we get another replay of that Orlando City B goal, I think Kickers players with a lot to think about both this evening and in the offseason.
So it looked like Roberts couldn't quite cut out the cross, and William Yumby couldn't get across Haji Barry to stop him getting there. Which is a shame because it's been I think a good season and even a good game tonight from Yumby and Roberts, but just one mistake from each, and suddenly the Kickers are down 1-0.
Yeah, I think Richmond Kickers fans will definitely be hoping to see William Yumby return. Same goes for Milan Roberts. It seems like they did kind of establish that relationship. Didn't start the season together, but I think a strong finish, even if the scoreboard doesn't reflect it here at the end of the game.
So thank you to everybody for watching the Richmond Kickers at home this season. Thank you to everybody who works on the broadcast. That's all from Taylor and I. We'll maybe talk to you again next season.
Hey, congratulations, guys. You know you guys all get one, right?
CBS 6 This Morning, Emmy winner for Morning Newscast.
Elephant Auto Insurance presents Richmond Landmarks with Gene Cox. Built in 1901, Main Street Station has defined Richmond's skyline for over 100 years. One of the oldest train stations in the country, and it still keeps folks on the move. With its national headquarters right here in Richmond, Elephant keeps people on the move without breaking the bank. So log on to elephant.com for a free quote today. It's the most Richmond thing you can do.
I'm gonna leave when I cross the line. Stand high above this moment in time. Gonna push to the side. I gotta hold on, 'cause I'm living life this moment in time. This moment in time.
Choose between 1, 7, and 30-day unlimited ride passes. Pick the pass that's right for you and get ready to connect.